I chose to work for Everycare because I'm living in Winchester, and it was the local care agency that I found when I did a little search for them. It was the first one I contacted, the first one to get back to me, and more or less that day said they'd have me. So I wanted to work as a carer because I had a history of working in jobs which I didn't enjoy. The job satisfaction levels were very low, as well as the kind of outward impact I was having within the jobs. I was in a little bit of a rut, feeling like the work I was doing was benefiting nobody. So to work for a job where each day you benefit someone, an individual, seemed very appealing to me. So similar to the other question, the care kind of area just seemed very relevant to my life at the time and still currently now. I'm very involved outside of work with charities and kind of group organisations that have impacts on different people, and I thought, hey, here's a job that I'll enjoy and can learn new things and help people in the community. So a typical day is lovely. Usually 6:45 a.m. in the morning, but it has to be the only job that I don't mind getting up that early for. Usually visit a client who usually be in bed, wake them up, help them get out of bed, usually making breakfast, the whole time talking with them, asking them about their day, their family, connecting on a kind of personal and a professional level. Then move on to the next client who may already be up, or who may have to get up themselves. Again, a process of chatting. You almost feel like a relative, a kind of a portable grandson as such for some of them, with obviously a degree of professionalism and care. Then you move to lunchtime, where you make lunch or sit for company, which you get just as much back from as I'm sure the clients do as well. The kind of stories and conversations and life histories I've learned from people just by sitting and having a chat. Then it moves to kind of late afternoon, heading towards dinner time, and then finishes in the evening, usually around 10 p.m. with a kind of bedtime visit, which usually involves putting the client to bed, saying goodnight, making sure they've had a good day, and then heading back to bed yourself to prepare for the next day. There are so many. The kind of personal connections you find with clients who you either have a lot in common with or as such don't have a lot in common with. I've learned more about life and England and the world from some of the people I've met. One of the most kind of personal things I'd say would be, obviously when dealing with clients who are kind of close to the end of life, it's quite personally touching, and you feel quite a responsibility when you're with them. Then obviously once they've passed away, Everycare are very supportive and encourage you or allow you to go to the funerals of such clients. And I find that personally that's something that I resonate very strongly with, because you're kind of able to say goodbye to someone who, though you're employed to look after, you can't deny you end up having a really nice connection with, and you feel like you've kind of helped them, in the kind of journey they've taken to the end of their life. So that's personally the most inspiring and kind of the most touching thing. Wow, extremely differently. It's an organisation that definitely values and cares about their workers, gets to know them personally inside and outside the job, is always there if you're struggling or need some advice. In times where I've had clients who may have been a little bit challenging, the advice is always on hand. And one of the main things that made a huge difference was that mostly everyone in the office, from the managers to the kind of to everyone else, are all trained as carers themselves. I remember one of the first times speaking to one of the employers, he mentioned he had just been to one of the clients I'd gone to see, which was quite a complicated client anyway. And I remember thinking, wow, my boss actually goes to the people that I'm looking after, and then this made the kind of relationship of developing plans and how to deal with them, how to look after them much better, and you felt a much stronger connection. And just anytime you want to pop in the office for a biscuit and a tea, they're always around. And yeah, just so different to any other employer I've ever had, and I feel very valued and very respected as a worker by them.